Today we're back on our broken fibre optic tree, and we're going to be replacing the motor with one of these two replacements and hopefully getting our tree back working again. So if you're not caught up, check out part 1 up here and it'll show you how we stripped down the base to get to where we are now. Part 1 is basically how to get in and replace the bulb and things like that. This is part 2, how to replace the motor. I've got two motors. I've got this one, which I got from Temu, but I don't think it's going to be suitable. Have a little look. No, it's too big, unfortunately, but it won't go to waste. It'll be coming in handy for another project, no doubt. And we also have this one. This one was salvaged from another motor, but it has the specs on it that you need if you need to buy a replacement. This is a TYC40. It's a synchronous motor, 12 volt AC. Remember this, you need an AC motor if it has an AC adapter. For example, we've just recently done an updated video on how to change the bulb on one of these. You can check out the link to that up there. An AC motor, after when it says 12 volts, it has a little wavy line. That's to note that it's an AC waveform motor. If it's a direct current motor or a DC motor, it'll have a DC adapter. And a DC adapter has a straight line after the 12 volts with a little dotted line underneath. That's direct current. So remember that. AC and DC. Although this one says AC-DC, it ain't the band. It means it's alternating current in and DC current out. Replacement motor. Let's have a little look. So this is where our bulb goes. We need to find all our parts. We've got all of our parts here. So let's put our motor in place. Sits on its two little posts. Now, as for our bulb, unfortunately, this LED bulb upgrade that I was going to do, this is not an AC LED bulb. You can get AC LED bulbs. This one is a DC LED bulb. Unfortunately, it's got a really bad flicker on it. I do have a brand new bulb. This bulb is an MR11 or MR11, 12 volt, 10 watt, slightly dichloric reflector in there. These have been around for a very long time. Just going to give it a little clean once I've installed it. So that just goes in. Base there, just plugs in. Clean the lens with a bit of solvent, make sure there's no fingerprints on it or dust. And we can now put our bulb retainer on here. There are several types of bulb retainer. You got this one, a screw down version. That's on there nice and tight. You can also get this type, which is identical to this one, as in it's got two screws on it, but this one has feet that go either side of the bulb. So this one has the posts, this one doesn't have the posts. The bulb retainer has the feet integral to it, so there's that one. And the other type is spring loaded, so you basically just pull it up, remove it, take the bulb out, put the new bulb in, and it just clips in place with springs. And when you're putting the motor on, the post goes closest to the bulb, otherwise over here it's too far away. And then we have our colour wheel here. You need to put on a washer, then you put on your colour wheel, then another washer, and then your nut. And if you hold on to the motor shaft with some pliers, then you can just turn that just to make sure it's nice and tight, which it is. And that's our components all back together again. And then we just got to do a little bit of wiring. Strip the cables back. Going to use our solderless heat shrink. Put that on there, like that. Get the wires to overlap each other, like that. Quite easily solder these together as well with a little bit of heat shrink. I just like to demonstrate alternate methods from time to time. So that's all our wires in place. Get these nicely tucked out of the way. Got a zip tie which pass through here and through here, just through the vent. You could cut the wires shorter. I was just trying to give myself enough leeway to work on it. There they are. They're out the way. We've got our housing. It's got notches in it for the barrel jack for the power and the switch. This particular one, that are 3 screws. Six feet, and it alternates. Plugged in, and we're back working again. Pop in our tree, and there we are. It's colour changing. Apologies for the full portrait mode, but unfortunately it's the only way I can get you to see the whole tree. So I hope these last few videos are helpful to you on how to fix and repair your fibre optic trees or fibre optic plants. And I'll catch you all on the next one.